Before we get into all the interview questions, I want
Okay.
you to talk about the belts that are behind you. I know those are
Oh,
championship belts. Yeah. Describe
correct.
those nice things back there.
Yeah. So these are our actual championship belts that we actually use when we crown champions at our inaugural and annual championship events that we do once a year. So the red signifies, of course, right hand, and the blue signifies left hand. And we actually have them for women as well, in all divisions. The first championship we had in Pennsylvania a few years back, I was able to crown 10 champions. So, we're just going to keep trying to build off that momentum again. And I actually have a new design that I'm actually developing that I hope to display in 2023. But yeah, so far, the feedback on the design of the belts have been very great. Been overwhelming. So a lot of the arm wrestlers and just a lot of novice spectators in general just love the design. So I am happy about that. You know what I mean? Just to bring some spotlight on it. You know what I mean? And kind of bring some significance to the championships when we do crown them and stuff like that. Because the guys do put in a lot of hard work. So I want to make sure that they're proud. You know what I mean? When they win, and feel really accomplished when they walk around as an Urban Arm Wrestling League champion. So I'm really proud of these belts right now in the design, and just look forward to crowning more champions. I'm anxious to get back to it. I'm very anxious right now.
Now you mentioned how it's right hand, like a winner for a right hand belt and a left hand belt. That's like so interesting to me because usually it's just like one trophy or one award, but I like how the different colors signify different meanings for which hand you win with.
Yeah, there's power rankings. These guys take these very seriously. By weight division, right hand, left hand. So some guys will be more dominant right-handed or left-handed out there in the world. You know what I mean? There's some guys that may be a little weaker. Some guys will be placed first in their division in left hand, but it'll be 8th or 9th in right hand. So, you know what I mean? So it's not a balance. Some guys find the balance and are able to compete and be just as great with both hands, but some guys are really stronger in one hand than the other. So cool. it does bring it some type of strategic play, but I just like that. I like the diversity that it gives these guys right there in the divisions and stuff like that. Some guys fluctuate in weight classes just because they feel like they could be dominant at a different weight class with their right hand better than they could at their left. So it's a chess move in it as well. I don't want people to think that it's just two guys that think they're just the strongest dudes in the world locking hands.
Right. Yeah.
And just going at it like that. No, it's a chess match at the table. You know what I mean? Between the men and the women, even the kids. Like they come into it. They come into it with a strategic idea of how they want to try to manipulate the match. It may go their way. It may not, but it brings for good drama at the table.
Yeah, it does. Now, how do you weigh the hand? You say different weight classes. How does that go?
Just off body weight. Just off body weight,
like
boxing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We have weigh-ins before the actual tournaments.
So and that's how the guys will weigh in.
Yeah, their whole body. They'll step on the scale and they'll weigh in at certain weight classes and certain divisions and go from there. So some guys like to come in at, you know what I mean, may have put on 5 or 10 pounds to come into a tournament and compete just to see if they could kind of rise in the rankings. They may feel like they have an advantage in a certain weight class if they enter it. You know what I mean? So it's all about advantages. Everything's about an advantage in the sport. You know what I mean? Trying to get an advantage over your opponent. You know what I mean? So I actually find it very intriguing. You know what I mean? That these guys will jump into a different weight class, or some will go from semi-pro to pro. It's all about the win. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there watching like, wow, okay, like you got okay.
You said chess moves. I'm like, chess moves.
I'm seeing what they're doing, and I'm like, oh, you put a lot of thought in this. Oh, you lost 5 pounds. Lost 5 pounds for this tournament to come in at 155. Oh, I see what you're doing. Oh, okay. You're trying to move up in the top 10. Oh, okay. Wow. Nice. And then these guys have no problem posting the rankings when they finally make the top 10. They have no problem letting the world know. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I love it. You know what I mean? I love it. And I'm happy for them. You know what I mean? So it's great for the sport.
So you mentioned 2023 coming up, but I want to know, who is Gerren Nixon in 2022? What has changed or what has stayed the same about you?
Wow. Ooh. I would say I don't think anything's changed, but everybody around me will say I'm lying. You know what I mean?
How
They'll
would
be
they
like,
say that?
they'll be like, "Come on, dude, stop playing." You know what I mean? But uh, who I'm still, I guess 2022. I think I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out. Like, who am I? A lot of people ask me that, like, what do you actually do? And I'm just like, right now, I'm having fun being
Everything.
Gerren Nixon, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, so I'm getting used to and being comfortable in my own skin. So that's what I think 2022 has been about for me. Being comfortable, being me, being different. Accepting that, accepting the role that I have, but doing the stuff in the community. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Just walking in the journey. I can't really put a cap on who I am or what I do. You know what I mean? And I think that's an advantage I have right now. You know what I mean? Nobody can pinpoint where I'm going with this thing. So, like I said, I love doing what I do. I love being involved in so many different things. I love working with so many different people, and just building, networking, and creating resources and opportunities, for everybody. I think that's what it's about right now, is trying to use the spotlight that I have to, like, bring the people with me. You know what I mean? And make sure the kids just get these advantages and these opportunities, so we don't have to go through this stalemate of generations feeling like there's such a gap. We can create that bridge that where it can flow from me to your generation with ease. You know what I mean? And not be such a struggle. So we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of catching up to do. You know what I mean? So, like I said, that's what 2023 is about for me right now. Just being the best, I guess, vessel that I can be. Really get these programs structured, get them running. To be only to do like one season this year, I do see it as, it's a great accomplishment, but I felt I should have did two. It had two seasons, you know what I mean? So I want to build that foundation and that structure up a little better. That way I can get two sessions of the photography program, start the music program. You know what I mean? Just get everything a little bit more organized, So that's what I'm leaning to more. And of course, doing more arm wrestling events. Like, I really need to do more tournaments. Still continue the demos and stuff like that, but focus on the championships like that. And like we spoke about before, the event coming up at CW Post, in the end of February. Yeah.
Yeah, tell
So,
us about that
like I
event
said, just
a
expanding
little
and just
bit.
showing the people, not just out here on Long Island, but the world, like what we're capable of out here. You know what I mean? Like, we got a lot of talent out here. It's a lot of special people out here whose stories don't really get told nationally. I don't want mine to be the only one. You know what I mean? So if I can open up that door and crack that window, you know what I mean? Like, yo, listen, there's more me. There's more me's out there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
look, look.
Look at
So
all these other
if that's
people.
my
Yeah.
job, you know what I mean? I take on that responsibility, and I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability.
And I agree, like you said earlier, like the sky's the limit, and it's always good to stay true to who you are. And behind every great leader, as yourself, there's a great team. So introduce us to your team and some of your members.
Okay, well, we got Leslie Jean-Pierre, of course, who's like my number two. She's the vice president of all sports for Urban Arm Wrestling League. Like, she handles the demos. She actually instructs the demos. She competes herself in the women's divisions from time to time in the tournaments when she's healthy. She's a military veteran, a mom. She's also a resident of Wyandanch as well. And like I said, she's really stepped up to handle all of the sports and stuff with our demos, and really working side by side with me with doing our next tournament and the instructionals and stuff like that, tutorials with CW Post coming up. She's really going to be at the forefront of that. We got JD Thomas, who's my VP of Community Relations, and he helps me with everything in the community, as far as like our events, our panel discussions, our giveaways, even some of our demos. But really, I work with him with these the programs, like really implementing them in different locations in the community. Wyandanch right now, we're trying to build it in Wyandanch, and then of course I'm gonna try to move on to different districts. But as you know, it's just really important to me to like do it here at home where I'm from. I want to make sure I get the blueprint set here before I take it somewhere else. So JD helps me with all of that stuff, and then we have Jim Ramirez, who's just my vice president of operations, who just helps me like get paperwork. She's my eyes and ears on any idea that she think I should do behind the scenes. and Linda Lynn, who handles all of my brand ambassador work for us, promo. Just putting the brand out there, making sure that we have different content that's ready to be put up on social media. Helps me schedule different interviews and stuff like that I need to be at. She really at the forefront of that. And my partner, Fred Ayler, right now, he's like the CEO of No Days Off, but I'm really going to be working with him in 2023 more to really go into with these events, these programs, a lot of the stuff that we're doing in the community. I'm going to be working with Fred Ayler with No Days Off and partnering with him and he has a sorry for that, but a non-for-profit organization that I'm going to start working with and probably sign on to be the president of that. So it just helped me move the ball a little faster, you know what I mean, working with a non-for-profit and, working on funding and grants and stuff like that. You know what I mean, aside from everything else that we do within our own resources, but it definitely helps to be working with a lot of the people that support us in these different offices across Long Island. Like I said, it's a blessing. And I don't take it for granted, District Attorney Tierney, the Wyandanch Public Library and their staff, the Wyandanch administration, the principals, the superintendent, the school board, the police commissioner's office. Like I said, it's a blessing to have those people behind me, you know what I mean? So, but they know how passionate I am about the work too, so I do know I have to execute as well, I have to back it up. So, like I said, I have a strong team. He's brought in James Crawford, a lot of the alumni, you know what I mean, that I grew up with, there behind me. So shout out to all the alumni in Wyandanch and just a lot of great people and organizations as well throughout Wyandanch, throughout Long Island. You know what I mean? I think people just really see that, we're not playing right now. You know what I mean? Like, we're all in, we're backing it up. We're walking the walk, you know what I mean? And people follow me on social media, so they see, like, we're really putting in the work, you know what I mean? So it's just, like I said, Town of Babylon, Wyandanch Village and all of this staff over there, like a lot of people throughout Long Island have really gotten behind us now. And going into 2023, it's a great sign. We're very fortunate.
I agree. So you touched on many different points. I know you have the Getty Initiative that you started in the community of Wyandanch, and also the No Days Off Entertainment. Can you expand on those two aspects and how they have helped you improve in life?
Yeah, well, there's so much that I could say about Getty Images and just having their support just in general, it's just a strong relationship and a bond that I developed. I think I touched on it a little bit when we first spoke, part one.
Yeah.
When we first had, part one. But like I said, just meeting Al Bello, who was one of their staff photographers, it just all sparked from an interest he found in me, you know what I mean? And from a story Newsday did. And he reached out to me, and at first I really didn't believe it. I thought it was spam because he reached out to me Facebook inbox,
Okay, yeah.
And I say
that's weird.
Why of all the platforms,
why in the Facebook
it took
inbox?
me a while because I'm thinking it's spam, I'm like, it's no way.
What is this about?
So, but I followed up finally, and it really was, so he ended up doing I would say a photography of me, for the year. He followed me in my evolution all through 2021, going into the beginning of 2022. He just followed my progression, and he submitted it, and we ended up winning a prestigious award for picture story of the year, so it just I was like, what is going on?
Look at that. All started from a Facebook DM.
Yeah.
You didn't even know was real,
So just it's just so bizarre, you know what I mean? It's just bizarre, but we ended up winning an award, and we just bonded, you know what I mean? Started telling me about different things going on, his passions, and then he mentioned that he was going to Canon to pick up some cameras that they upgrade every year, so they always have some cameras that they kind of donate to Getty, that Getty will store, maybe use for other resources or whatever they do. So he mentioned that to me one day and was like, you got any ideas? And I'm like, the light bulb just what? I'm like, okay, you got some cameras or whatever. Okay, cool.
What can you do with this? Yeah.
I'm like, what type of cameras? I don't know anything about it, but I'm nosy and I'm curious. I'm like, what type of cameras? And he's like, yo, you know, these cameras such and such, they worth $1,500 a piece. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, how many you got? Just asking, how many you got? Like, yeah, I got 8 of them. I'm like, this can't be happening right now. I'm just looking up at God, like, really? Like, you know, like,
just for
so
you.
he's like, yeah, you know, you got any ideas? So I immediately just like, okay, started just writing up paperwork. I may have made 15 different drafts of how I wanted to start this program, but I'm like, okay, as long as I know he got the cameras,
Right,
I'm gonna figure it out.
As long as his cameras are secure.
A lot of hard work. It took me over a year of just pitching it around to like different school board trucks. It was a battle. It wasn't easy, you know. It took me over a year just to like really get, I guess, momentum behind it. You know what I mean? I think people kind of thought I was BSing. You know what I mean? They was like, yeah, he's just gonna give you the cameras or whatever. Like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? So
everyone thinks everything's a scam nowadays because you do gotta watch out. But
correct.
This is
so
real
I mean,
stuff.
All of 2021, I'm having just different conversations. Let them know, like, yo, listen, we got opportunity to do this. We could do this, like this. So nothing really was going on. So here come around to the top of the year in January. So Al's telling me, Al's like, I'm about to go to, I think it's China. I'm going to China, Gerren. I'm leaving for like a month and a half, 2 months, because I got to go work the Winter Olympics. So I'm like, damn. I gotta get these cameras before he go. Because if I don't, I feel like if I don't get them now, the whole opportunity could be shelved.
Yeah.
You know, he's going for 2 months. So when he come back, anything could happen during that 2 months. Yeah. You know, so I'm scrambling to move. Like, man, I gotta get these cameras. I need these kids. I need some way to do this program. Like, I got it all on paper, but I need to. I gotta
put it into action.
Yeah, I need to execute. So, luckily, I'm trying to think. A good friend of mine, shout out to Jeff Ball, got me in touch with Deputy Police Commissioner Risco Mitchell-Lewis. So we started talking, and I brought up the speed on what I'm trying to. This recipe I'm cooking. I'm like,
come on, help me.
I got this over here.
Make this happen.
This over here. And this what I need. I don't even really need no money.
Right.
I know you used to people begging for money. I know this is not about me begging for money. I'm not begging for no money right now. You know, so she's like, really? You know what I mean? So then she was like, I was telling her, like, yeah, I would love to put it in the high school. You know, that's where I graduated. I'm an alumni. I want to put it in the high school. So she's like, okay, go speak to Principal Paul Sibley's at the high school, which I do have a relationship with him already. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, okay, if she's telling me to do that, then okay, that is the right idea. Let me, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm on the right track, because that's what I was thinking. Right. So I went and did that, and we spoke, and he loved the idea. So they had to make some calls behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Because I couldn't just go into the high school with the equipment. You know, they had to do it, get the clearance and so forth. So we did that. But I still don't think until they saw me and Al show up with some cameras.
Oh, the camera? They're like, he's serious.
Principal was like, yo, Gerren, like, how much are these cameras, bro? Right. And I'm like, yo, I tried to tell y'all, like, listen, like, this was really serious. Like, I wasn't really playing. Like, we got the equipment. You know what I mean? I really just need a location and the kids. You know what I mean? I want to make sure these kids get the cameras before he goes to China. Let's get the ball moving. You know what I mean? So we can do stuff via Zoom, but what the kids can do while the man is gone is practice with the cameras. So when he comes back, you know, we could get right to work. They was asking them questions while he was in China. You know what I mean? They was emailing them, texting. So I was able to keep them in contact with them just to ask different questions while he was gone, so they could be kind of prepared to dive right in when he got back. So, like I said, Al's a blessing to have. The whole staff at Getty, you know, they love the idea. So I know they're kind of chomping at the bit to see where I go with it and how I evolve the program. So like I said, I've had their full back, and they've made some great content and great promotional videos about the program that they spread throughout their whole network. So, you know, there's been people like Getty in the Philippines, like, hey, we want to do it here.
Right,
you know, like,
that's a great program. So, you got to bring it over to
so, you know, so I'm kind of like trying to see how far I can go with this thing now. You know what I mean?
Now talk about the No Days Off entertainment. That's the story behind that one.
So No Days Off is founded by a good childhood friend of mine, Fred Ayler. Very talented man, very smart man. So he actually, I guess, started following what I started to do with the community work in arm wrestling. So we actually had a couple of conversations just spawning earlier this year, and he just let me know about his passions of wanting to make a difference as well. Community work, but really his aspirations just to like help and create opportunities for the young kids, and the elementary kids, and understanding that we do need to start with those kids first before they even get to the high school. So he kind of even made me understand that a little more, because I was a little bit focused on just the high school, you know what I mean? Because I went through the high school and even through the out of school, but the high school, I just know, like, I wanted to make sure these kids had something coming out of school when they graduate. So that's why I wanted to make sure I had the photography program going up and running in there. But when he said that, it did make me think of different ways to actually implement the photography program in the elementary school, and the middle school and so forth. So that's due to conversations with people like Fred, and school board trustees, and just different members of the community. You know what I mean? Just letting me know what they think could be offered, should be, and just trying to also create more opportunities out here. So, like I said, me and Fred were speaking, and he just really was excited about the conversations and what we spoke about in future endeavors, and we just decided to start partnering up, and doing some work in the community. I actually had him on a panel when I did the men's talk. He was one of my panelists. We wanted to just start getting him involved more and making sure his voice is heard a little bit more, because I do believe that his message should be heard. He did have some, let's say some past discretions, in the past, but he turned his life around, So, so I just think kids could hear his story, not just men, but kids could also hear his story about reformation, what I mean, and turning it around and stuff like that. So, he has a non-for-profit organization that he started a couple of years ago, and was just telling me during the conversation that he really hasn't done nothing with it. And, he kind of liked the message I'm bringing and the opportunities I'm creating. So, he asked me to come on board, and would I be interested in being like president and heading up the non-for-profit. So it took me a while to think about it, because I got a lot on my plate, but it's just an opportunity that I know I can't turn down, so I'll probably be taking that position in 2023, and being able to work more on the non-for-profit side with these companies. It gives me more, of an opportunity to spread faster and get the message out a little quicker. You know what I mean? So like I said, that's due to the opportunities that Fred has given me with No Days Off. So like I said, salute to him, and I'm just very excited about future endeavors and working with that company going forward, because they're a good team. They work hard, and I like their passion. So like I said, I'm really excited about the No Days Off venture, and working with a brother of mine that I know since the sandbox, so there's a lot of trust there. We trust each other's opinion. I learn from him, and that's what I like, to have people around me that I can learn from, people that are not afraid to give me an honest opinion. You know what I mean? Because I need it, on this journey I'm on. I need the type of people around that's just going to give me a real honest opinion to make the best decisions going forward, So that's what, even if I don't agree, I need to hear it. You know what I mean? And I like the fact that he'll tell me that. Like, yo, you need to listen. You know what I'm saying? So we need those type of people. We cannot be embarrassed to have those type of people around us. You know what I mean? So I tell people all the time, you're going to get to a point where you can't be the smartest person in the room. And I know I'm getting to that point. So right now, I'm trying to align myself with those type of people. That's the only way we're going to be able to spread this thing out across Long Island and beyond, So like I said, I'm very excited, and let's look forward to what we all got going on. Like I said, kudos to you. You're starting the referee position and stuff like that. Like I said, there's a lot of things going on, and it's very exciting times for Long Island, and that's why I really want to like put some type of platform, something together that could tell these stories. You know what I mean? Like, I really want them to be able to be told. There's a lot of good people out here, a lot of our mentors and stuff that put us in play, you know what I mean, and be in these positions. So, we got to run with the ball right now.
Yeah. I love how you bring together, like, photography is entertainment. No Days Off, that's entertainment. And you all bring that together with arm wrestling. So during our last interview, you mentioned the movie Over the Top featuring
Right.
Sylvester Stallone. So, how would your dream arm wrestling movie go? Who would be your celebrity stars, and what's the storyline?
Wow. It would definitely be probably like well, my storyline would be definitely starting from the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Maybe about somebody who probably you wouldn't think would want to be in arm wrestling,
Mhm.
but had to prove that they wanted to belong in the sport, work their butt off, to get eyes on them to show that they can be a part of the sport and have some type of value that they can bring to the table. That's one. But when you get to the table, you got to execute.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? You got to win. You know what I mean? You gotta play to win. You got to be aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, just because you got to the table don't mean that you can lose and think that you're gonna earn that credibility, because some of them want you to lose. So you got to be at your best at all times. And like I said, that would probably be the premise of the movie. Is just, I wouldn't say rags to riches, but just starting from the mud, starting from the bottom, building credibility, earning the support of the people, showing people that you're passionate about really wanting to belong in the sport, showing that you have something to offer to the sport, but most importantly, kicking butt and winning. Winning solves everything. In a competitive sport, in a competitive world, you win, you build instant credibility. So that's what I definitely would be about, is just having the backing of like your family, friends, community, and the support of them. It's just like, I think that would make a great movie, to be honest, like that. So because it's stories like that, especially like coming from our type of backgrounds. First of all, you wouldn't even believe that you would want to, you know what I mean, be in the sport. To be honest, you would think it would be all about football or basketball, which it is. It is still, but why not have options?
Right.
It's always good to have options. We can't just settle for the things that they just always think we're going to be so easily to run to. That's probably been the problem that we've had already as it is, that they just automatically expect us to do certain things.
Yeah.
When there's some other opportunities over there, we just take a little risk.
Yeah, you can't put yourself in one box. There's so much, like I said before, the sky's the limit. There's not only one set thing that everyone can do.
Especially now, because even with your generation, you guys already know that there's so much residual income out there. That's been like the term for the last 2 years during the pandemic, So it's like, so if we all know that, why aren't we moving like that? You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to get the money on, the crypto and the social media and stuff like that. But we still got to put the work out here in the real world too, and I think a lot of us get too complacent with the social media and internet aspect of things. You know what I mean? So we got to stop relying on that, because what if that crashes?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
What I'm saying?
What are you gonna do
what if that crashes? Like, look how many people who feel like their life is ruined when they get hacked.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they feel like
it's the end of the world. Like, no,
it's the end of the world when they get hacked, because we put so much faith and responsibility on that social media that if anything happens, you're lost.
Yeah.
So, I just think we need to be more into the now, into what's going on in the world, and making sure we get our feet wet out here. You know what I mean? Like, get the experience under your belt. Like, the internet is only going to teach you so much, because you're only going off opinions off the internet.
Yeah.
That's not actual experience. It's just somebody's opinion. You know what I mean? So you got to build your own experience. Their experience is not going to be yours. You know what I mean? It can guide you, but you got to find out for yourself. You got to fail. You got to fail. How you going to know how to rebuild if you don't fail at something first and find out if you could tweak it and do it a little better? I failed multiple times with the arm wrestling first. I tell people that all the time. Like, it's still things I go through. I just don't voice it publicly. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I have to produce. That's all people care about. You know what I mean? They don't, and a lot of people that I'm around, they don't want me feeling sorry for myself.
Right. They don't care about the excuses.
They don't care. They're like, yo,
they don't really care.
Bro, tunnel vision. Just keep going. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I have my good days and bad days with it. I get stressed out, I vent, but I understand. They're like, yo, okay, you got that off your chest. You good?
Huh?
I
Right.
get
What's
back
the
to it.
next thing? Let's keep going.
What's the next thing? What we doing?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like I said, it's a responsibility, but I'm all here for it. I'm all here for it.
So
Hmm.
referees are a part of almost every sports competition. Some people love them, some people hate them. I want to know,
Correct.
what is your experience with referees in the sport of arm wrestling, and would you ever become one?
I'm actually in the works of training. I'm watching a lot of video right now because a lot of my mentors in the sport, they just want me to be well-rounded and well-educated on every aspect of running a tournament. So I've actually been watching a lot of footage on refereeing, trying to learn the techniques because, like I said, it is a battle, like you said.
Yeah.
Some guys love referees, some guys don't. Some referees show advantages to different athletes, different arm wrestlers, certain times during certain matches. So that is a thing. A lot of arm wrestlers do voice their opinion on that, about, feeling that when they got to the table that the referee was a little biased, so trust me, in this sport, it definitely is a battle between referees and arm wrestlers and athletes. It was a tournament I was watching before that actually created a big viral situation where people were commenting, and it kind of got ugly because some guy felt that he was wrongly judged on the table by a referee and lost a very important match in his eyes because of the refereeing. So it is very important. But like I said, you just try to be as fair as you can from what I'm seeing, It is a sport where the referees do have a lot of control. The referees have a lot of control over the table and can dictate and decide a match with ease, just off of hand control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some guys can feel uncomfortable before the referee takes his hand off before the match begins,
Oh,
and
so
they
yeah,
lose
they're
right
just
away.
starting it. Oh, wow.
Because
They don't even
guys are
ask
positioning.
this. All right, let's go.
Yeah, they're positioning their hands before the referee starts the match, and the referee has to
Wow.
sometimes tell a guy, like,
Yeah.
yo, listen, straighten your wrist out. You know what I mean? Like, that's not fit. So, it's a tussle at the table. It really is. And like I said, you really do want to have a good rapport with the referees because it can dictate your match. But like I said, some guys really feel wrongly wrongly refereed when they get to the table. And like I said, some guys don't like a certain referees. It could detract a certain puller from coming to a certain tournament because there's a certain referee there, or it could be grudges that just never go away. You know what I mean? So on for years. You know what I mean? Because of a certain match. Like I said, some of these matches can dictate their ranking. You know what I mean? In the top 10 or the top 20.
Right.
So these guys take it so seriously, and they're very boisterous. These are grown men.
Yeah.
So
Strong
these guys will
grown
go
men
on
too.
social
So they're
media
gonna,
and
yeah.
let someone have it. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you have to be wary of that. But like I said, the referees are grown men too.
Yeah.
And everybody feels that they have a certain amount of rules that they follow, and some feel that they follow these rules over here. So like I said, it's all about which rules the referees are following. The rules do change from tournament to tournament, so guys do ask, what rules are you following? What's the weight allowance and so forth, because there is a certain weight allowance that you are gifted before you hit the table. So, you just have to be very transparent as possible as a puller to the referee to make sure you get your advantage at the table. I'll say that, because everybody's working an advantage to get at the table. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you are. That's what it's about.
Yeah. It's all about winning, like you said before.
It's about winning. So,
it's about winning.
An advantage, if I can get my elbow in a certain position before the match starts and the referee let it go, I'm going with it. And it could be my best friend. You could be arm wrestling your training partner or your best friend, but at a tournament, listen, we're both here to compete and win.
Yep.
We'll talk about it after the match.
Right. But let me get this win first.
Correct. Let me get this win, and we'll discuss what happened after the match. If you felt that you were fairly judged at the table, we'll talk about it. But I got the window, bro.
Yeah, right. Excuses after.
I'm sorry, bro. Like, you're gonna even blame the referee. Like, yo, the referee, listen, man. Like, I'm not the ref, bro. I apologize,
just won.
man.
I just know that I just won.
Yeah, it's nothing but good sportsmanship throughout the sport of arm wrestling. But like I said, these guys are hella competitive.
Yep.
And the women. It's just a competitive sport, because it's mano y mano.
Yeah, yeah, it's all on you. So tell me now, let's talk about you. I want you to tell me a Gerren Nixon quote of 2022, and then what do you think will be the Gerren Nixon quote of 2023?
I had quite a few this year. I'm not gonna lie, that I stood by. One was teamwork makes the dream work. I really went with that. Warrior strong. Just to like believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Warrior strong was something that I really went with. Family ties. It's all about us being a family.
Yeah.
We have to we're going to bicker, all of us. We're going to fight. Some of us may have some different agendas, and like I said, a lot of us I see, and what I noticed that it's a fight that we can all win. What is it? We're like all fighting to be on the marquee, when we can all share the marquee. We don't have to fight about it. You know what I mean? And that's the message I really want to go into 2023 with, is about we can all be on the marquee. You know what I mean? We don't have to fight with each other or feel the need to compete when the stage is big enough for everybody to get a 20-minute set on it. That's a music reference. Everybody could get 20 minutes on the stage and perform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So once we get to that understanding, I think we'll be better off, but it takes us empowering ourselves first. I just think we need to be more concerned with empowering ourselves and knowing that if we go with that ideology, I think that we can really turn it around on Long Island. Because like I said, there's so many talented people on Long Island, so many resourceful people on Long Island. But I just think the formula needs to be tweaked a little bit, but that takes them, the older guard giving us newbies a shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To really make a difference, I think a lot of us deserve that shot. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why, like I said, there's some tough conversation that's being held behind the scenes and stuff like that. But like I said, I think it's our turn and we deserve to have a shot at it. And I think that's the bridge that we need to, repair, is that, like you haven't really put us in position or nurtured us to where now that we are where we are, that we're ready for these positions. You know what I mean? We're ready for the spotlight. You know what I mean? Like a lot of this, I had to go into it blind and learn on the fly. Luckily, people started to like believe in what I was doing and seeing that I'm not going to stop. You know what I mean? I'm not stopping. So it's like, it took convincing. I probably had to convince a lot of people, you know what I mean? Because they probably didn't know why I was doing this, what my agenda was, you know what I mean? And to be honest, they probably didn't know if I was genuine or sincere about it.
Playing basketball has taught me in my life like many life lessons. So I want to know about, as you mentioned, being competitive and participating in the sport of arm wrestling. What has that taught you in life, and how has that made you into the man you are today?
Wow. That's a good question. Well, you come with them. Let me see. Definitely confidence. Discipline. Taught me discipline. And just belief. You got to believe in yourself when nobody else does. It really taught me self-awareness. I'll say that the most. A lot of people say that they see that I'm very self-aware. It taught me about what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, when I need to speak up, or when I need to listen. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to have my moments, even knowing when I'm in a room and I'm the number one, or when I need to fall back in the room and be the number two. You know what I mean? Like it's just different levels to this right now that I've been learning, you know what I mean? Different roles and different hats that I've had to put on. So it made me know when to adjust. And like I said, what we have to do is know when we need to be number two. We don't need to be number one all the time. Sometimes we're going to be in a room and we just need to listen. We don't have to try to feel that we need to control and take over the room. Sometimes we're not there for that. Sometimes we're invited in there because they just want you to listen,
right,
and observe.
Right.
So I mean, that's what it really made me aware of, because like I said, I went into the sport of arm wrestling kind of green. So a lot of the rooms I was in, a lot of conversations I was having, I'm basically the rookie. You know what I mean? I'm not the smartest person in those rooms. So only thing I could do was listen. You know what I mean? So I had to put my ego aside and listen to these men and the women in the sport kind of like coach me and walk me through even my first initial tournaments and events. Like they were walking me through it on the spot. I would have phone calls with them weeks, nights, days before, you know, just trying to figure it out, trying to just, I never want to go into nothing not knowing all the information I can possible. So that's what I was trying to do because behind the scenes, I'm nervous. I'm just so nervous and scared about what's about to go down. My turnout, you know, just everything about it, I'm nervous about. So I tried to like make sure I had people that were very experienced around me to help run these tournaments and stuff like that. So that's what I mean by like, you have to be the number 2 or the number 3, even if they, you know, sometimes they had to tell me because I'm just so used to always cross promoting and collaborating and doing stuff with other people that it's been weird. Some of them had to tell me like, yo, listen, no, this is an urban arm wrestling league event. And I'm like, nah, you know, I come from the world of like music with throwing parties and stuff like that. So I'm always been used to like teaming up with different companies and, you know, 3, 4, 5 companies on a flyer. You know what I mean? Showing love.
Right.
You
And
know
you
what
gotta
I
focus
mean?
on,
Like,
this is your thing. Put yours
so
first.
they're telling me like, no, Gerren, this is your thing. I'm coming to work for you, to come support you. So it's an urban event. And I'm so used to like, no, it's urban in association with Empire Arms or, you know what I mean? Whatever, Lethal Arms or whatever, CNY, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, and they like, no, brother, this is an urban event. So, you know, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what do I do with that? You know what I mean? I'm not used to that because like attention wise, I'm not that guy that loves a lot of attention. You know what I mean? So it's that's been taking a lot of getting used to in the last couple of years. You know what I mean? Is being comfortable with the attention because once the attention is on you, you got to be ready. And I know like, so now I have to be ready. I have to know what I need, know what I want when people ask me certain questions. You know what I mean? So you just have to be prepared going forward, you know. So that takes for anybody, that's going to take some getting used to, especially when it happens so fast, you know. So it's an adjustment period for me, you know. I've been through a lot in the last 3 years personally and stuff. So being here now, like I said, supported like this is taking a lot. It's taking a lot of me, like I said, changing a lot of things about my personality, like being an introvert and so forth like that, you know, and trusting people. Oh, I was the biggest introvert for a long time. For a long time, you know, it's taken a lot of used to me being comfortable around a lot of people, you know. So I went to therapy for like anxiety and depression, you know, like so it's just so this version of me being, you know, it took a lot of work personally.
Well, God bless
you know what I mean? So like I said, it's just like being used to that, but also being confident in these rooms now, you know. So like I said, it's a battle, you know what I mean? Because of the anxiety and stuff, it's a battle, you know what I mean? But I just think about what I'm doing. That's where I get the confidence from, you know, the strength from, like what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, you know, and just trying to help people. I think that's where I'm just like, okay, just focus on that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't try to talk about myself a lot. You know, I really don't, because I don't like doing it. I really don't. You know, it's hard for me. But I know, like, to get things done, to get the message across, it is what it is now. You know what I mean? So, like I said, that comes from the people around me. Like, yo, you got this. You know what I'm saying? You got this, bro. Like, just believe, stay strong. And here I am. You know, here I am.